Do you care about your audience or do you just care about the quick cash? And the quicker you can get to a point where you understand what you love, the quicker you can get to caring about your audience, the quicker you can get into the mindset that in order to become a brand ambassador, I have to care about the things that I'm talking about and care about the people. Welcome to the first installment of the Walking with Jordi Q&A segment. This is the part of the show where you send in questions and I answer them as thoughtfully as possible, giving tips, tricks, and advice contextual to my experience. So our first question today is, how do you become a brand ambassador? And that's by Asada. So, Asada, to be very honest with you, I think the best way to not become a brand ambassador or an influencer, the words are kind of interchangeable, is to have that as your end goal. And the reason I say that is because typically people that have money as their end goal, in the short term, they make probably a lot of money, sometimes a little bit of money, but then in the long term, they end up not making any money because they're just doing that thing to get their money and then they suffer from burnout. And I think it's the same thing with trying to become a brand ambassador for somebody. If your sole goal is to become a brand ambassador and you're not invested in the thing that you love to create, you will eventually get burnout because you probably realize that the check is probably not worth the hard work that you have to put in. Now, to really answer the question specifically, first I would ask myself, hey, what do I like to do? What is something that you love creating content about on a daily basis that doesn't feel like work? Because being a brand ambassador is work. Companies and other brands have expectations of you when you sign up to become a brand ambassador, whether it's posting or it's doing outreach or whatever else they do, because I'm not really too much involved in that world. So, from the conversations and like really looking out on the landscape, the first and the most important thing is, what do you love to do? Do you love to do hair? Do you love to do makeup? Do you love to take pictures? Do you love to speak? Do you love to eat out at different restaurants and different days of the week and post about that? That is the first question that I would ask myself. Then, once you figured out what is the thing that you really like for yourself, then you have to triple down on it and you have to become consistent. Now, typically people become brand ambassadors by having brands reach out to them, which means at a certain point in time, you would have had X size audience. So the other part is that you have to care about the community that you're building. If you're only trying to build a community so that you can monetize, people can sniff out bullshit, first of all. So they will eventually realize that all you're trying to do is make money off of them so you can flip products for your own personal gain, and you will erode your reputation and the equity that you have with them over time. So I think that's really something important to note, because if you're only building community to extract value out of them, you end up losing in the long term. And it also depends on how long you're trying to play for. Because me, personally, I'm trying to play for like 10, 15 years. Therefore, my behavior is very different than somebody who's just trying to open up a boutique shop to get a quick flip on the game right now. I'm gonna get my checks 10 years from now. And the reason I do that, and the reason I operate the way that I do, is because I'm actually trying to build meaningful relationships with my audience. I respond to every single comment. I post on a consistent basis. I engage with people in the DMs. I do small meetup events so that I can meet people. I have specials every now and again. What are you doing to engage with the community? Like, you want to become a brand ambassador, but are you spending time to care about your community? Are you engaging with them? Are you leaving meaningful comments on the people's posts? Are you actually trying to find ways to bring value to your audience? Those are the things that you have to focus on, because being a brand ambassador is cool. People that are brand ambassadors typically have meaning, like depth of engagement. Not that you have 10,000 followers and 30 comments, but what about having 1,300 followers, but you have 20 to 50 people that are actually meaningful and they actually care about what you have to say? Now, to boil the message down, the real point is, do you care about your audience or do you just care about the quick cash? And the quicker you can get to a point where you understand what you love, the quicker you can get to caring about your audience, the quicker you can get into the mindset that in order to become a brand ambassador, I have to care about the things that I'm talking about and care about the people that are paying attention to me. That is the quickest, most strategic way to become an actual meaningful brand ambassador. You have to give to get. There's no receiving without giving. You have to be selfless. You have to be kind. You have to express gratitude. And if that's not in your DNA, then I don't think that you will become as effective as a brand ambassador as you can, because it's hard work. Building a community is very hard work. And we don't really speak about it often because everybody's on the hunt to get thousands of followers. My challenge to you is to figure out what you like and to care more about your community. That's the best way to build, and that's the best way to start the journey of becoming a brand ambassador. And I hope that resonated with you in some part, and I hope that you can apply some of those things. And thank you for asking me your question. Have a great day.
Welcome to Walking with Jordi.